Right, currently we are in the painting stage, so we're cutting the panels to the right so they fit, and then getting them all painted with a nice base layer of white. So our customer specified they want off-white. I can totally see why, because the white is very stark, but this paint we've got is like a base layer, so it helps seal the wood, sorry, and allow the next layer to adhere a lot better. God, it's why I pretty much look like a sheet of paper here, because it's reflecting so much light from outside. But yeah, no, it's really, I've really appreciated the difference in construction time when having two people working on the same project. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So I'd say that if you are out there and you're looking to build a camper van, look around online for someone. If you have a friend that's also converting at the same time, absolutely perfect. But like, maybe try and find, you know, a group of people, friends, make a community, whatever, like join another community online and see if you can come together as a group and help build each other's vans, because it's amazing what teamwork can do. As you can tell by the state of the workshop, we are painting the panels. Now, the really useful thing about this Sprinter was that the panels were in such good shape, they just had some like light scuffs on them, that we didn't have to cut new ones. If we did, we would have pretty much just got some 5.5mm ply, which is what this is, traced it out and then cut around it. So we're basically in exactly the same position as we were before. We just thought a lick of paint and these look so much better. We've done a little bit of repair here and there, but there's no point wasting all of that wood and money for no reason, really. The other important thing is that we sort of thought about the colour for a little while. So we've gone for like not a brilliant white, because a brilliant white's a bit too stark for us. A brilliant white's a bit too stark for this van, but also we didn't want it to be too dark or too creamy. We've gone for like a warm LED lighting for the inside of this van, and if we went for like a magnolia colour off-white, it would really emphasise that and make it almost feel like a sickly, yellowy, creamy colour, which we don't want. So the grey off-white will help balance out that sort of warm LED and make it feel like it'd just be a really like fresh but like warm, cosy environment, I think. But this is an example of what we mean. So this is like got one coat on, and you can see where all the original paint splatters and scuffs were on it. And we've also been, as you can see here, there's a dent that we missed, but we've been going around and filling these dents and then sanding them back, so it looks like a pristine bit of 5mm ply. The other major advantage of using the ply that we had originally is that on top of saving money and a lot of time, where the original screw holes are means that we don't have to re-drill any holes. They should line up perfectly, and yeah, it's basically a much quicker and faster and easier way to just re-panel your van. In between where the seams meet, we're going to put some D-trim, just to give it like, so you can't obviously see through and there's not like just a split in the ply, but it should look really nice, and a cost-cutting method to keep the cost of your van down. So in the background while I've been painting, Ben has been making up this template to fit both the window on the sliding door and this side, and we're going to use this to create an edge, a wooden edge, that we're going to then cut out a smaller cutout that will house basically just the glass in the window. This means that we won't see any weird edges of the carpet where it finishes, any of the weird cut edges of the metal. We're trying to hide sort of up to about here. So we want to hide all of this black, all of this, see where you can see the white paint through, where it doesn't look particularly great, and make it look much, much nicer and neater. Still a long way to go, but super chuffed with this. We've got black carpet on the roof, ready for shadow gapping the top slats, the roof slats, ceiling slats. All the pieces painted white, at least 3 coats. It's like it's a very, very, very light grey. Me and Ben are arguing. He still thinks it's white, but it is grey. All of the panels in, as you can see. Now we just need to sort of get all the other screws in, de-trim around all of these seams here where all the ply bits join, make it look pretty, cut out this window bit properly. We're going to route it in place. Yeah, so excited. I think the next step will be to crack on with the floor. Now that the walls are roughed in, we're going to look at basically just cutting out all the pieces so that they fit, taking all the floor out, laying underlay, and then putting the floor back in. We're going with a click together luxury vinyl flooring. Client specified that he'd like a sort of dark greyish style wood effect. So the steps we're taking to get this floor in is we've marked a chalk line down the length of the van as straight as we possibly can get it, and we started with these first bits either side of the wheel arch, and we're now cutting around the wheel arch with this second line of the vinyl flooring. Once we've got this sort of first initial foundation layer going in, the rest will slot in really quickly until we get to the other side and we can cut those out. But we're just trying our hardest to make sure that everything's straight down the van, because if you look down the van and it's all like a little bit off, you will notice it and it might just look a bit horrible. You look at this, guys. What do you think? The whole grey wood style floor mixed with the sort of black accents of the carpet, white, off-white walls, and then on the roof, I'll show you what's going to go on the roof. I mean, excuse the alignment, but basically it's going to be birch wood slats like that with a very small gap in between, so that the black black carpet adds to the whole shadow space. So this underlay has like a 2mm spongy layer with like a thermal coating on top. So now that all of the underlay is in, I'm going around the edge with this aluminium foil tape just to seal it all up, and if I need to seal any extra joins or cuts to make sure that this level, I'll also be going around the walls here and making sure that this basically becomes like another watertight water barrier. If I go around the edges over here and just tape up against the wall, that will then be hidden by skirting. It's basically another way to protect any moisture that lands on the floor from getting underneath to all the insulation. Well guys, the floor is in. It's time to start basically getting the walls properly mounted. Originally we just had these metal screws in, but what we're going to do is, because each wall piece has like that 5.5mm like rib behind it, we're going to start countersinking and screwing in screws that will allow for D-trim, which is to the same width as this little guide. The D-trim will be able to cover up the screws and hide it all away, so that the walls look a lot nicer at the end with the end result. And we've also been laying out the design with masking tape. This is such a quick and easy thing to do, and makes it feel a lot more real and gives you a much better visual of how the space will work. Now that Ben's finished up with a bit of the trimming, he's started to invade the space at the back here, and this is really sort of like the substructure for underneath the bed. I'm going to try and keep up with Ben filming wise, but he does work at an incredibly fast rate, which is great, but filming can be tricky sometimes. So really this is sort of, we've got our water system area over here, which will have the pump here, easy access, a bit of storage, but yeah, that's segregated off there. We're gonna have battery here with my electronic board mounted here. Really there's going to be sort of like a line here that goes, a wall that goes up to there. Here is going to be a series of like quite deep drawers that are going to go out that way into the living space, and this bit is going to be a little underbed dog kennel. So yeah, because they want to house their dog, they've got a spaniel. This will be a huge space for their spaniel to live in, and I'm still trying to decide where I'm going to put the heater, to be honest with you. We've had to shift a few things round compared to the original design based on sort of needs of where we can drill holes through the floor and stuff like that. So I'm going to have a little think about that. So after another cracking day in the workshop, we're going to cut it there. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. It really does help out my channel. And yeah, leave a thumbs up if you like the video. I'll catch all of you DIY nomads next time.